Hi everyone. I never imagined that one day I'd be sitting here talking to you all about my journey from heart attacks to hearing angels, but here I am. And I find out that it's the unexpected journey, the twists and turns that life takes that brings you to the real magic in your life. And I know now from my own journey, from my own experiences, that you are the miracle in your life, that it's the small inner changes that you make every day that will transform your life, that will bring you all the joy and love that you crave, and that will help you to be this loving force of change that you were born to be. And I know you're amazing, and that if you stop and listen to your soul, you can be this amazing self. And I know that if you open your heart to love, if you let the walls you've created around your heart crumble, that you will realise that you are this love, that you are divine. It's been a long journey for me to get here, not always an easy journey either. It all started with those 2 heart attacks, and before my heart attacks, from the outside everything looked great. I was earning a fantastic living as a screenwriter. I had a London agent, my second poetry collection was coming out, at a lovely house, a loving marriage, everything seemed great. But inside I was empty and dead, and I didn't know how to change, what to do. All I knew was to keep the mask on and to keep going. So when I ended up in hospital after that first heart attack, it didn't change my life, because I kept trying to keep all those balls in the air, tell my agent I'd be out soon to do that script, tell my publisher that it was okay to go ahead with the book, and just kept going in the old ways. 5 days later, I was being wheeled down to the theatre having a second heart attack, and I had a beautiful moment of epiphany then, where I just knew that if I had had enough of this life, if I'd had enough of the pain, I could close my eyes and drift off, and that I would go on, that this body would go, but I would go on somewhere else, and it would be that easy and simple and peaceful and beautiful. And I took a moment to think about that, but I knew that whatever I was here to do, that I hadn't done it. So I made the decision to stay and to find out what that was, and to try and do it. But that wasn't the moment my life changed either. That was the moment I just stopped to listen to my soul. In fact, I was forced to stop and listen. I just had to stop and start again and try to figure out how to live this life. And I suppose I started out in that journey by trying to follow my joy, trying to follow what made me happy. Because in the back of the ambulance, all I could think of was the wasted time when I could have been having fun. So I went to singing classes because I'd always wanted to sing. And then I went to a shamanic day because I'd always thought that sounded interesting, and I'd been doing some shamanic meditations myself. And that led me to angel classes, and that led me to stumble onto my spiritual path. And through all that, I found that I had a real natural ability to connect to my spirit guides and angels, and I found that I could hear them speaking to me. And as my meditations progressed, I could also hear other beautiful teachers like Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the Divine Light all speaking to me. But again, that wasn't the miracle moment that changed my life either. And I also had some very physical miracles along the way, which I'll share another time. But it was not any of those that really caused the deep change within me. It was after a few years when I was meditating, I was teaching, I was healing, I was channeling, all that was going on. But there was this beautiful personal, deeper moment I had in meditation. And I was meditating and praying to God, talking to God. And I was in this fervour, in this bliss, and I just said to God, whatever you want me to do, I will do it. And I suppose I was thinking of Jesus on the cross, thinking of the way I'd been brought up, that suffering is good, you have to earn God's love. So I was thinking, if you want me to die for you, if you want me to be scourged for you, whatever horrible thing you want, I will do this for you. And what God said to me was, will you be happy for me? Will you be happy for me? And my response to that was hesitation. After promising to do anything, the one thing I wasn't sure I could do was to be happy. And that was the moment my life changed. That was the moment when I saw the truth of how I'd been brought up and how I felt. That was the moment when I went back to being that 7-year-old child, trying to be the top of the class in spelling because I felt I wasn't good enough. That was the moment I went back to being that teenager who felt like she didn't belong anywhere, who felt like the world was falling apart, and who just wanted to kill herself. That was the moment when I went back to being a younger woman and wanting to have children, being told it wasn't possible, going back to that moment of joy when I found out I was pregnant, and that moment of utter devastation when I knew I was going to lose my baby. All those moments came back to me, and I realised that I could let them go. And I realised that all the pain and the loss and the grief that went along with those moments had been buried inside me, and that I'd never dealt with them, never healed them. And I realised most importantly in that moment that I did not need to do anything to earn God's love, that I was enough, that I was good enough, that I was worthy, that I didn't have to suffer to earn God's love, that I didn't have to prove myself, that I was just divinely loved, and all God wanted from me was to be happy. So that was the moment when you see the truth of everything, when you start to let it all fall away, when you start to really, really, truly believe I am enough. And it's that journey I've been on and I'm still on. But once you know that you are worthy and divinely loved, because I know you are, once you really, truly believe and accept that, then your life changes. So it's these small, deeper, personal moments that are the miracle, life-changing moments. And you can go inside you today and be quiet and listen and start to let that moment flow up from within you. And this is what brings you outer changes in your life. Now I'm in a beautiful, loving relationship because now I'm able to receive love. I have a sense of peace most of the time. I have beautiful friends and family around me, living in a beautiful home. In fact, in many ways, from the outside, I suppose my life doesn't look that much different, but inside, I've changed so much, and I'm still changing and transforming so much. And when I look back now to all those connections to my guides and angels and teachers and to the divine, what they were all teaching me was to open to love. They showed me what divine love was by letting me feel their love. They taught me how to start sharing that love with them. And they taught me to start loving myself. So you are worthy and divinely loved. And the moment you really, really grasp that, appreciate that, accept that, then your life will change. So I wanted to share that today because coming up to Christmas now over the next 4 Mondays, I wanted to share some teachings from my beautiful teachers, from my healing guide, from Mary Magdalene, from Jesus and from the Divine Light, on why you are the miracle in your life, why you are divinely loved, why it's time now for you to accept this love into your life. I just thought it was important at this time of crassness, really, of getting lost in the outside and the external, in consumerism and everything, that it was time to really be quiet, still, connect in with ourselves and remember what's important and remember what's so unimportant as well. So I'll be sharing those videos over the next 4 Mondays up until New Year's Eve on my Facebook and my blog and my YouTube channel as well. So tune in for those, but in the meantime just remember that you are the miracle, that you can take the time out to have that deeper moment for yourself, to remember that you are this miracle, to remember you're worthy and divinely loved, to remember everything you need is inside you and that you can have that all right now if you just open your heart to accept it. So thanks for listening today. Take care, and I look forward to sharing another video with you next Monday.